Toy Story has been one of my favorite Pixar franchises since I was a kid. It has so many amazing and unique characters that I absolutely love. Woody and Buzz and the whole gang have definitely made some of the best movies of all time, and I cannot wait for the fourth installment. With that said, however, I recently was rewatching Toy Story 3. Yes, I know, get the Kleenex ready because you will cry at the ending no matter how many times you've seen it. It's absolutely so sad. Can't get over that. Anyway, while I was watching it, a certain part stuck out to me and struck me as an odd just kind of thing, and it got me really thinking. And then I went online and did a little more research, and I found an absolutely amazing article. It was exactly what I was thinking about. It's written by Julia Galef, and I'll link it down in the description below. But what it says is some amazing things. Now, getting back to the movie, remember that scene when Mr. Potato Head was trapped in the box? So he took off all of his body parts and tossed them outside of the box, and each kind of body part kind of stirs itself, and they all scurry away. I mean, they're traveling as a group, but a group of distinct individuals. Each part was moving independently, seemingly possessed by its own mind. So what does this mean exactly? Well, it means that everything you thought you knew about Mr. Potato Head is totally wrong, and that he's actually the result of multiple living beings working together to coexist inside of a host body. I know, crazy, right? And you may be thinking, well, wait a minute, what about the possibility of him having various body parts that are moving independently of each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have separate minds, and that maybe there is one central mind that can just control all the body parts from afar. And yes, that's actually a pretty good point. However, we can actually use the event of the movie to prove that theory to be false. If you pay close attention, you'll notice a subtle clue that disproves that one mind is even possible. Now, shortly after the scene where he takes his body parts off, they collectively move to the kitchen where they find a new host in the form of a tortilla. But then a passing pigeon takes interest in the tortilla and pecks it until it falls completely apart. One shred of tortilla containing an eye and an arm sits up and looks around. Then, with the eye spotting a potential threat approaching, the arm nudges another nearby shred of tortilla containing a leg to alert it of the situation. Now, this is very important. The fact that the physical communication between Mr. Potato Head body parts was necessary reveals that separate body parts aren't controlled centrally by one single mind. They have to communicate physically, and they have to bump each other, tell them that the threat is coming because they're all not on the same wavelength. The only conclusion for us to draw then is that each part is controlled by an autonomous separate mind, which then raises this weird question. When Mr. Potato Head body parts are all assembled in his body, does he have one mind, or does he consist of a complex collaboration between independent minds? It's kind of crazy to think about. My theory is that much like the recent movie Split, which deals with a similar topic of split personalities having independent minds within one host, that Mr. Potato Head has multiple minds trying to control the host when they are assembled, but one of them has found a way to control the rest of them unless, like we saw, they are all disassembled. That way they can all control their parts indirectly and without being controlled by one. But which one is actually in control, you ask? Well, if you pay close attention to his character, you guys can clearly see that it is in fact his mouth that is controlling everything. He thinks with his mouth, which makes perfect sense, as he's always been a very outspoken character, constantly yelling and barking orders at others. This fits perfectly with the theory and with his character, and it all kind of ties together, and it's so cool to think about like that. So a quick recap in case you missed everything. Mr. Potato Head's body parts are actually all have a mind of their own instead of one mind inside the host body. But they are all kept in line and take orders from one, being the mouth, who seems to be the leader of them, and the one that calls the shots, and the one that decides what the host body says and does. I know, it's kind of crazy, but it fits so well with his character, and it's such an interesting thing to think about, and it gives him a whole different light. Pretty crafty of Pixar to go this deep into something that most fans will never notice, but I really enjoy when they do things like this. Anyways, that's all I have for today, guys. I want to give another big thank you and shout out to Julia Galef for writing this awesome research paper on this. Go over the article, give it a read. There's a link down in the description below. As always, guys, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. Aim for 500 likes. It'd be so good to get to that number. Subscribe for more cartoon conspiracy theories in your sub boxes. Be sure to check out the cartoon conspiracy theories playlist. I've done over 100 of these videos. So many. I'll link all of that in the end slate and the description, guys. But until next time, remember that it's always KMAC time somewhere. take it easy, and peace out. Oh, and before I get out of here, today's code word you guys can drop in the comment section down below is going to be popcorn. So let me use that word in the comments below. I know you guys made it all the way to the end of this video and are, in fact, some of the coolest subscribers on the internet. But like I said, guys, until next time.
Enjoy.